Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all managing okay with the lockdown. I know it's a difficult time. All our lives have changed in many different ways over the last few weeks. First thing I wanted to say was that I'm absolutely overwhelmed by the amount of subs I've suddenly got. It's really good. I know I got a shout out from a mate, which was great, but because of that and the amount of subs I got from it, I really want to produce some good and consistent stuff for you to watch. I'm really grateful for a lot of the feedback that I receive from some of the videos. A lot of people saying they really like this stuff, and also people saying, how about trying this, how about trying that, or have you seen such and such, which is really important stuff and what YouTube and these sort of channels is all about. This week, well, been a funny one. I've been looking forward to making a YouTube video. I've been getting my daily exercise, and as far as Bushcraft is concerned, made an absolute milestone, which I'm so pleased about, in that I started a fire using flint and steel and a piece of charcoal. I started off by making some charcloth and then made a tinder bundle and got a fire going. I think you can probably just see the cutaway here now. You can see the joy on my face, not so much joy on Mrs. Outdoor's face when she saw how much I'd singed the lawn, but there you go. Video today. I was in a real dilemma about what to do, whether it was going to be a how-to making some sort of an object to help us with our bushcraft skills, or whether it was going to be a menu, some food. And I thought, well, why do so much food when people can't get out and use it? But then I thought, when the key is unlocked and when we're set free, I think we're going to be leaping for the outdoors. I really do. And the only complaint we're going to make is that we haven't got enough food. We didn't make enough food during the lockdown. So today I'm going to actually make a dehydrated meal. I was hoping to actually set up a table in the garden, much like some of the sort of flamboyant TV chefs do. But the neighbours have got the paddling pool out and the kids are enjoying a riot in their garden. So I thought that would interfere with the presentation somewhat. So I've set up a little studio here in my garage. If we have a look now, I've just got a table set up and I'm using a little camping stove. I've got some ingredients which I'll go through in detail very soon, and we'll get cooking. Before I start on the real sort of meat of this recipe, I've already cooked and prepared and dehydrated some rice, about enough for 5 good portions. And also I got 4 chicken breasts. I cut off all the excess fat, I put it into a bowl and then covered it with stock and put it into quite a low oven, about 150 degrees centigrade, for about an hour and a quarter. So it poaches in a way and retains a lot of moisture, doesn't dry out. This recipe is called African peanut chicken curry. So if you've got a nut allergy, I'm very sorry. This is not the one for you today. However, I've been making this for years and I thought, well, there's no reason why this couldn't be dehydrated. If you remember, in one of my previous recipes, I made the point that got to reduce the fat content as much as possible if you're going to dehydrate the food, because it just opens itself to getting rancid as you put the food in storage. It involves usually a tub of peanut butter, which is absolutely full of fat. But I found this, and there you go. It's called Peanut Hottie, high protein, but the main thing is peanut butter powder. So just before I get on with the chicken, I'll show you the rest of the ingredients. Made a pizza last night using 2011 yeast, and it was a roaring success. But left over from that, I've got some red onions. I've also got some peppers that I found in the fridge. You're going to need some coriander powder and some chili powder. I've got some stock pots, 3 tins of chopped tomatoes, some cumin, some crushed chilies, and a large white onion. So here's the poached chicken breast that I'm basically just parting into fibres. A few of the questions, well, quite a lot of the questions I've been asked on the channel have been about some measurements, whether I'm making something, or quantities if I'm preparing a recipe. I'm really determined that my channel is going to be not an exact science where, for instance, I'll just be putting in handfuls of this, handfuls of that, pinches and so on. But if there was one top tip I'm going to give you regarding dehydrated food, and when you get to this part of it, this is where you need to be absolutely patient and precise, because you've got to make any meat that you put into your meals that you're going to dehydrate, it's got to be able to dehydrate fully. And the only way you can do that with meat is this process here. And all I'm doing is I'm making it into tiniest fibres, and hopefully reasonably uniform, so they all get to dehydrate at the same rate. And it's important that they dehydrate fully, because meat's the one that's going to go off whilst it's in storage if you're not absolutely pedantic about stripping down, say, the chicken breast like this. At this stage, you'll also find some little fatty bits as you're separating the fibres. Just get rid of those, because they're, again, not the bits that you want to be trying to dehydrate and store. So here we go, 1 onion, very finely. And the rest of the pepper and onion from pizza night. So in there we have 2 types of onions, we've got 3 types of pepper. I'm going to put in about 5 cloves of garlic mashed up, and some salt and some freshly ground black pepper. And give it a nice stir up. I want to keep the fat content as low as possible, so I've got to cook the onions in something. So I'm going to use some coconut oil. About a heaped teaspoon. And in we go with the onion and pepper mixture. And just cook those gently until, I think they use the phrase, the onions are translucent. It's very relaxing, this. My son bought me a strawberry smoothie, which is delicious, and still going ahead with softening up these peppers, onions and so on. And in the meantime, while this is going, I've made a great big pot of chicken stock. Let me have a look at the measurements on here. That's about 1.5 litres of chicken stock. So I'll let these sweat down a little bit further. We'll move on. Garages are not for cars, they're for doing YouTube cooking videos. I did mention on one of my previous videos that it's really important to overspice if you're going to dehydrate the food, because you do lose a lot of the goodness in the dehydration process. So I'll be seen to add probably a lot more than you'd think if you were just going to eat this immediately, but it does need it because you've got to retain that flavour. So first of all, we're going in with some cumin seeds. Next, some chili powder. Next is the coriander. As I said, not an exact science. And now this is the bit I don't know. The peanut mixture. I'm going to go for about that much to start with, and I can always add a bit more once I've tasted it, maybe midway through the cooking bit. Just mixing all those together, and we're going to cook it for about 5 minutes with those spices. Into the mix, 3 cans of tomatoes, and stir them up. A few chili flakes, and I'm just tasting as I go here. I've added a bit more of the peanut powder. It's certainly got enough heat in the spices at this stage. Now I'm going to just judge really how much stock I need. I certainly don't think I need this 1.5 litres. I'm just going to maybe put that much in. Just to loosen it all off. So, looking pretty good. Quite mushy at the moment. Got my chicken to put in, and you can mix it all together now and put it in the oven on a low heat for a couple of hours, or you can use a slow cooker, which I'm going to use. In goes my mixture. And in goes the chicken. As the chicken goes in, it's kind of absorbing a lot of the liquids, so once I've mixed this up, I'm going to probably just top up with a little bit more of that stock. And we wait. I'm really excited about this. As I say, I've cooked it loads of times, where I've just cooked it and served it up, and it is one of my favourite meals. It's one of the few meals that everyone in the family eats. So 4 hours to go, and we'll see how it looks. That'll take us, it's 5:30 now, so I'll be putting it in the dehydrator at about 9:30 this evening, and that'll be good because I'll be able to leave it overnight in the dehydrator. I'm busy. So a few hours later, we'll see how we're looking. Oh, wow. I was a bit worried there was a bit too much liquid there, but it'll all sort of come to the top, so mixing it up is a nice consistency. And I think that looks pretty good. Good, got a kick. let's rehydrate this and see how we do. And on we go. Because it's meat, I'll set this at a reasonably high heat. That's about 65 there. There it goes. And we'll leave that overnight. See you in the morning. This has actually now been in about 18 hours. It seemed to take ages. I gave it a turn over halfway through the process, but now you can see that's the sort of crumbly consistency we're after. And now the bit that I've been waiting for, the taste test. I've measured out 75 milligrams of the peanut mixture and also 75 milligrams of rice, totaling 150 obviously. That makes a really good size helping for when you're out there, wherever you choose to eat this. And I'm going to bring that to the boil and then put it in my pot cosy for about 15 minutes before I give it a try. So I've just got some water here, and what I do is I put enough in just to about cover it, with a few bits sort of poking out. I'm going to give it a stir. Then I'm going to bring that up to the boil. Now we have a good boil, so I'm going to take it off the heat and pop it in the pop cosy. Okay, 10-15 minutes, I'll leave it like that. Well, I lost about 20 seconds of audio here for some reason, but first impressions are pretty good. The mixture seems to have absorbed all the extra water, and I'm very much looking forward to giving this a go. Well, here we go. The taste test. I'm really looking forward to this. It looks and smells delicious. Here we go. Warm enough. That, folks, is delicious. Oh, it's peanutty. It's got a little bit of spice. I really overspiced it at the beginning, as you saw, but don't be afraid to do that, because all I've got now is this kind of gentle tingling sensation. And the chicken, quite often in my dehydrated meal, the chicken's been a bit tough, and that's because I dehydrate it separately to the rest of the food, and I didn't do that this time. And I think it's worked because everything is just right for eating. Gosh, it's delicious. Peanutty, a little bit spicy, got lovely texture. That's just good food. I thoroughly recommend you follow this recipe. It's really simple. Ingredients are pretty straightforward to get at the moment, which is good. Yeah, do it. Well, I'll finish that off in a little while. I just want to thank you again for all the new subscribers. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the great feedback. Next video, you're going to probably raise your eyes to the heavens and go, oh, seen plenty of these. But I've been making these. It's not a penny stove. It's the alcohol burning stove that's got the false inner wall to diffuse the fuel fumes at the sides and come out of the eyelets here. Loads of videos making these, but every one of them seems to be overcomplicating it. I've done this totally by sight. I've just used a straight edge on a couple of occasions. The rest of it has just been, that looks about right, that looks about right, and it works. So I'm just going to show you how to make one of these in the simplest way. And I hope that those of you that got a few spare cans around the place will try, because you need very basic tools. If I can do it, anyone can. So thanks again for watching. I'm going to get on with this, and I look forward to seeing you all again.